dawn of a new day. And as always, it is filled with possibilities. Good morning. Welcome. It's your numero uno breakfast show.
No, that's your favorite line, actually.
Oh, is it?
Numero uno.
Numero uno.
It's a beautiful.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
They say that joy cometh in the morning. Well, let us say that we certainly come bearing some smiles, inducing content,
Definitely. That's what we do.
breathtaking looks.
Wonderful. Yes, you do look. Yellow and blue is a nice, and it's your day for me when I say Thursday because with RTW is all about.
Yes, we always represent the brand. Thank you very much.
Well, if you wanted to put RTW in one word, what would you say? Afrocentric? Afrocentric, yeah. So not just Adire, but
African fabric.
African fabric as a whole.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we do on Saturday. We are art-centric, and most of the time it now means being Afrocentric. Now, I would like to think that we are more than up to the task of helping you start your morning right. Now, it's officially Ramadan season. Ramadan Mubarak, of course, to all my Muslim brethren there, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful one for everyone this time. I mean, considering that it's Easter for the Christians, Ramadan for the Muslims.
For the Muslims, right.
I feel like this is a time when, we can coexist.
Exactly.
Religiously,
and in
tolerate.
unity.
In unity,
Most important.
let's that should be a binding factor this period.
Exactly.
Okay? My name is Mike Mesikeno.
And I'm Ime Okwache. Watch us live on GOTV channel 27 and on UHF 49. You could also watch us on the go if you download the TVC app for free, both on the Android and iOS stores.
And on social media, we are at TVC Connect. It's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok also. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeriaOnTVC to interact with us.
I would like to let you in on what we have prepared for you right here on the show. And of course, we'll be joined by tech expert Ruth Samiha Apia Idowu as we take a look at some of the latest innovations in the world of tech.
Alright. And then for our art discussion, we have a Sholakbe Azazi, the certified autism specialist and autism coach, joining us with some beautiful art pieces made by special kids living with autism.
We are live.
Yeah,
Yes.
welcome, and once again, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan to all our Muslim brethren. And I was talking about it during intro, how at this point in time, it's Ramadan, it's Easter, and how it is important for us to tolerate each other religiously, and not just more than tolerate. We should move further than tolerate. We should coexist. I've seen some wonderful stories in the UK. Chelsea are going to be using their stadium, first time ever, for an iftar. They're using the stadium and all of that. And then we've also seen communities where churches have been used for iftars also. So these are buildings. They don't, with all due respect to all of them, but no, the people are the most important thing. So the church and mosque, we have to coexist and symbiotically, progress as a society. So much more than tolerance. We've been talking about tolerance, but we can go further than just being tolerant.
Yeah. I feel during periods like this, everyone is praying for hope. Everyone is praying for progress, peace, and patience, of course. Prosperity of the country as a whole, we can get there quicker if we all come together and pray with one voice, with one mind, and one heart, really. But I have to say, during times like this, it's just so interesting to see how communities come together. Over the weekend, you see, people that probably weren't even talking to each other before, just because of the particular period they're in, they just, forget everything that they were going through, and then, they just come back together. So I think it's a really healthy time for everyone.
Of course, definitely. All right. It's been an amazing. Well, I'll be joining in the fast on a couple of days, just a few days, right?
What's your reason for joining in?
To join in the fast.
Okay.
Funny enough, in secondary school, I used to pray in the mosque.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to, yes. I went to a boarding school. So there are times that I would, join my Muslim friends to the mosque to pray, and even learned how to do the ablution.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did.
I thought you were doing it for an interior motive, but
Mike, I'm not that mischievous, right?
Okay.
All right.
Let's take a look at the day's weather, and we'll be back with the news. Morning, it's the news on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mike Messikeno. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress has directed the public sector workers in the country to commence an indefinite strike from Wednesday next week. At a news conference in Abuja, NLC President Joe Ajero directed the affiliate unions constituting the Nigerian Labour Congress should also be on standby for picketing exercises across all branches of the Central Bank of Nigeria nationwide. The directive followed the expiration of the one-week ultimatum by the Congress last week. NLC had criticized the cash swap policy of the federal government and the persistent fuel scarcity across the country. The NLC president also said the decision to picket the CBN branches became necessary as the federal government and the CBN have not shown any commitment to address the situation.
From this week, from Friday, there will be mobilization of all state councils through a NEC meeting. All unions have already been directed to mobilize all their organs and their branches by Wednesday next week. All central bank from the CBN headquarters will be shut till further notice. Workers are directed to stay at home and join in the picketing exercise.
And now in Abia State, the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Alex Oti, has been declared winner of the March 18 governorship election. The returning officer of the Independent National Electoral Commission of the state, Professor Nnainaya Oti, declared Mr. Oti the winner at the resumption of the final collation results in Umuahia, 48 hours after the electoral body suspended the exercise in the southeast state. Before the announcement, returning officer promised to do the right thing in order to protect democratic values. Mr. Alex Oti polled 175,467 votes to defeat his closest rival, Oke Ahiwe of the PDP, who scored 88,529 votes.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Winfrey Agbeleshi, and it's time for us to take some newspaper headlines. I'll be starting today with the Punch newspaper. And for the major headlines here, we have NLC protests CBN to flood banks with old Naira notes. We have that on page 2 for the writers. We have banks get old 1,500 Naira notes for CBN today to prevent NLC action. Emefiele orders end to cash withdrawal limits during meeting with bank CEOs. And right at the top of the masthead, we have to the very left, 146 National Assembly candidates petition tribunals in 12 states. We have that on page 2. To the right of that, we have Buhari Islamic Council preach love as Ramadan begins, page 13. And to the right of that, we have FEC OK's 454 billion naira for Kanu, Niger Republic Rail orders. And scrolling down now to the bottom of the paper, on the image there we have Buhari Osinbajo, Obasanjo, Clinton, others hail Elumelu at 60. And to the left down below there, we have UK to list electoral offenders, planned sanction. We have that on page 27. Tinubu away for lesser Hajj rest aid. We have that on page 8. And jubilation as OT wins Abia, PDP retains Enugu. We have that on page 13. And now we'll be moving quickly on to the Guardian newspaper. And here for the major headlines, we have Atiku to tribunal, declare me winner or order rerun. And right above the major headline there to the very left, we have NLC threatens strike as CBN orders banks to come for old notes. We have that on page 3. World leaders hail Elumelu's impact on Nigeria, African economy. We have that on page 3. To the right of that, we have scientists link hormonal contraceptives with breast cancer. We have that on page 4. And to the right of that, we have Ramadan fasting starts today. We have that on page 5. And to the bottom of the paper there, we have healing can't happen without justice. Rhodes Vavor replies Tinubu. And Of course, the right of that, blame yourself for your defeat. PDP chieftain tells Namani. And that's all we'll be taking for the Guardian newspaper. Moving quickly on now, we're going to The Sun for the major headlines. We have cash scarcity, NLC sets to cripple CBN offices. And we have for the riders here, as 1 week ultimatum elapses today. Union says no going back, begins mobilization of members. Apex Bank instructs banks to collect all Naira notes deposited with CBN officials. And that's all we'll be taking for the Daily Sun this morning. And of course, we have fitness coming right up. Do stay tuned.
This is the way.
Welcome back. And yeah, we have quite an interesting discourse this morning. And a few days back, I saw this post. I didn't actually get to watch the video, but I read it about someone who returned 10.10 million naira that was transferred to him, you know, in error. 10.8 million naira that's transferred to him in error.
8 is very key.
You know. And oh, by the way, I also want, okay, and he returned the money and was rewarded 50,000. Just before we go into discussion, by the way.
50 or 15?
50,000. But just before we go into discussion, I just want to call out people that receive miracle money. And
In church, yeah.
in a banking system, if a banking system of a country or anywhere, financially, economically, there's nothing like miracle. It doesn't come, it came from somewhere.
Yeah.
If you receive money and you say it's not, no.
Okay.
It doesn't happen that way.
It doesn't.
Somebody made an error or something, somebody got to you. If you don't return it, you're a criminal. But let's get to what we're talking about today now. The issue now here is that he was given 50,000 naira, and then comments have emanated from all of that. Is the 50,000 naira enough? But then on the other side, should you return money with hopes of receiving a reward?
No.
You understand? So that's it. People are on different sides of the divide. He did a good thing, but then would this encourage somebody? If somebody else saw 10 million somewhere else and says, when I return this money, now imagine now give me 7.5 or something now.
So I want you, you said something initially. You said that it was because of an error. Now, I want you to think about if that money was for somebody's medical bill somewhere and you return it, and that money was probably not even enough for that person's medical bills, but you still got 50K. As in someone actually squeezed that 50K out of something that was probably a very important transaction and you still received it, man. You're blessed too. You still received it. That money was probably for something very, very important. It wasn't just somebody's pocket money that just happened to fall in your account. So the blessings will come from somewhere else.
So I'd like to talk about, first of all, before I address the issue, the negligence of that era. Yeah, I know a lot of things are happening in the banking system right now, but then again, the negligence. Sending not 10K, not 100K, 10.8 million naira to a total stranger. That literally needs to be zoomed in on and all of that. And to be very, very honest, yes, of course, if you receive money that's not yours, you should send it back as a situation or as a, even if it's just by your moral code. But then again, with the situation in Nigeria and all of that, right? Thinking in like honestly and all of that. The person actually did a good thing for returning the money now. And 50K actually is not a bad reward. As Cici said, the money may have been for something very important. But then again, on the other side, you could have just given him the 0.8.
The point.
It wouldn't have been bad, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean...
Because I'm trying to put myself in some people's shoes. And some people say, look, that's not enough. And it might not encourage somebody else to go and do it. Because we've heard, there's this particular woman who, I think it was at the airport. She had picked up money in the toilet. She had done it twice or thrice. A cleaner also, more than once.
Yeah, she's been rewarded.
She has been, and then people also had to donate to her cause and all of that, But 50,000 is what now? It's less than a % of that money.
Still,
Why
really
are
not
we
it's
having a conversation about it? Is it your money?
As a
If
space
you
of time to
wanted
save
to
my
steal
account,
it, just steal it once and for all and move on, and then wait for karma. But the fact that you return the money means that you're an honest person. You shouldn't even expect a reward. You shouldn't be entitled to whatever amount that's being given to you. It is the person's money. Whatever they decide to do with it, they, I mean, it's their, let them do it at their own free will.
Sure.
You did you played your own part by being honest at your own free will. So just allow it, guys. Where are our morals? You are already a morally good person. Return the money. Don't expect anything back. Allow God to pay you back.
Yes, so
in your own.
Your reward is
What
in
if-
heaven.
what
Is in heaven.
what
your
if
road
it's
is
an
not even in
atheist?
heaven. You're already
Here on earth, exactly.
Even atheists have
What if
moral
he's an
standards.
atheist?
Atheists have moral
An
standards.
atheist doesn't mean that he doesn't have moral
They have moral
Really?
standards. And my mind, this actually takes my mind to situations where you're actually randomly doing something and someone actually offers to help you. And there's that, even it might be like maybe traffic or something, and people just automatically expect, yo, yeah, now.
something.
Oh, yeah, now. Do you understand? Like, for instance, your car breaks down on the road, people come to help you. Do you understand?
Expect
Okay,
them
first
to
of all, I
sort
did
them
not
out.
call you. I'm grateful. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But then again,
Clear of you.
the money
Let
must
me tell you
not
one
be
thing.
financial
If your
rewards.
car break down on the road,
for good.
find money and hold. Don't see. You forget all this thing you're talking. Forget everything you know here. Just hold the money and be begging before they even help you. Give them the money and say, help me.
Yeah, but then
I am-
we've
if it's-
also seen cases where
Okay,
where
But I just
I'm telling
think
you- I'm telling you now.
generally.
at your aid, people come to your aid. Right?
Yes.
Yes. We've
So-
seen people do
No,
that.
of course, that's it now.
better-
When people
It's
come to
better-
help. No, people come to help, but
Wait
they still
now.
expect.
Do you know, say, it's better you are prepared
Yeah.
and they come to help than you are unprepared and waiting for help and it does not come. That day they'll be weeping. It will end in tears.
You know, and it's just-
Okay.
But
my
I-
point is,
yeah.
my point is that yeah, it's both ways. As much as we expect, but you cannot expect the best from everybody.
True.
And so we should try as much as possible. Yeah, maybe make the
Times
reward
like this.
worth it. You know, because as much as there should be punitive measures for doing something wrong, there should be rewards when someone goes over and above. Because people have seen that kind of money and they praise God too. That was karma. God was blessing them.
Yeah. After they've given their own parts.
I mean, that's why I started with miracle money.
They can pay
There's no
tithe.
such thing as miracle money. That thing could come back and
When people are holding up their phones and be praying, I got a lot.
No.
The video is there.
No.
But hey, come on.
All right, guys, go on a quick break now. Let us know your thoughts on social media platforms that seems to connect. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. All right, people, welcome back. You're still tuned in to Wake Up Nigeria. And with me in the kitchen this morning is Chef Belinda.
Yo.
It's so good to see you. It's been a while.
while.
Completely abandoned us. Anyways, so this morning, as always, she always brings not just herself and more. Right? I think I always feel like there's an extension of you that you leave, that you always bring with you every single time that you're here. And this morning, she's making RBD stir fry.
Correct.
Wow.
You got it.
Okay. What does RBD mean, first of all?
RBD is actually short form of rice, beans, and dodo.
Ooh.
So they are coming together in a stir fry.
Aha.
Pelu vegetable.
Look at that spread. Now let's talk about the ingredients for this
Yeah.
special recipe.
Okay. We have our rice for the R. We have our beans for the beans. Then for the B, then we have our plantain for the dodo. Okay. Then we have chicken. Also, we're pairing it with chicken fajitas.
Chicken fritters.
Chicken is fajita. The spelling is fajitas, but the pronunciation is
Oh,
fajitas.
fajitas. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So we're pairing with chicken fajitas. Then this will be our vegetable to stir fry the rice and also for the chicken.
Now let's talk about the carrots, also part of the veggies that we're
Yes,
stir-frying,
yes, carrot
right?
is part of the
Let's talk about the seasonings you'll be using.
Okay, these are the seasonings I brought in. We have this is cayenne, this cumin.
Cayenne pepper.
Yes,
Okay.
cayenne pepper, cumin, paprika, salt, mixed seasoning. Actually, mix
Okay.
some. It's a combination of seasonings I mixed.
Okay, and ginger and garlic? I'm
Yes,
guessing?
ginger and garlic pureed already.
Okay, now let's talk about how you are going to, what you're doing with the veggies. Are you blending them? Are you chopping them?
I'm chopping them.
Okay.
Cutting them
Okay.
in different shapes and sizes.
sizes.
Because we're having two dishes, the fajitas and the stir fry.
Okay.
So we have two types of cuts, which you will be doing, you know now, which you will do some part of it. The first one will be a julienne cut, just straight and fine, and the second one will be a dice. So which one will you do, julienne or dice? You're looking at me in one corner of eye. It's not work. Or will you cut
I
the
was
chicken?
really hoping that they would catch my eye. I'm giving you the side. Why do you want to stress
must
me
I,
this
must I really
morning?
do this? You will. We're in the kitchen
Exactly.
together. Let's roll together.
Okay, so now you
this
you
chicken-
said with the Julian cuts, right?
Yes.
What's the Julian cuts?
The Julian cut is the long stripes. Like this
Okay.
carrot now, I've made them to this side, so you
Say that again, Julian cuts.
Yes,
So that when
So you
I
just
am
go.
Julian cuts, I always say
these are
stripes,
Julian.
strips rather.
And strips is
Right.
for lame, and Julian is a culinary term, you know.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
darling. So Julian stripes. Now then the Julian strips, right?
Julian cut.
Okay, Julian cuts.
Yes.
Then what about the ones
These
you
are
chop?
small dice.
Small dice.
Yes.
So you just say dice.
Dice. Small, There are different types of dice. So
Oh, they are the
small dice. There's large dice, there's medium dice, there's orishi dice. But this is small dice.
Okay. Now you can categorically say you learned that on the Wake Up Nigeria show.
Yes.
The Julian cut and the
So
diced cut.
this chicken, they are fillet.
Okay.
Chicken fillet, yes. But we are going to cut this one into julienne as well because that's
Okay.
our cut for the fajitas.
Okay.
So you will start from vegetables, then we'll go to the chicken.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking in my head, right? Like a visual representation of what this is going to look like by the time you're done.
Okay.
It's like making fried rice, right?
Yeah. Making fried rice. And you know, if we want rice is not jollof, it's not rice and stew. The next we call it fried rice.
Fried rice, right?
It's not really like that. They have their name. Fried rice is a name.
Okay.
RBD stir fry is a name.
All right. On that note, I am going to get to work since Chef Belinda has decided to stress me this morning.
No, I need to get
We are making RBD.
stir fry.
Rice, beans, and dodo stir fry.
Correct.
Chef Belinda is here, and we're getting to work in a bit. This is a lot of, well,
A lot of work.
it's a lot of work. Are you trying those plantains?
Yes. We'll dice this plantain into that same small dice.
Okay.
Then incorporate everything.
Incorporate everything into like a one-pot dish, right?
Yes, a one-pot dish.
Fantastic. While we're prepping things up here and getting them started here in the kitchen, we have to head over for the tech discussion with Mike. Chef Belinda, take it easy with the cutleries.
Okay. Thank you. Isha, let's go.
All right, good morning, and it's our Tech Thursday morning. We have Ruth Idowu as our guest. She is the Vice President Business at International JCI. And this morning, we're looking at innovations in business and enterprise and how young people can take advantage of this in the workplace. It is great to have you, Ruth. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so you have been in the tech industry. Let's just talk about your origins in the tech industry. How long have you been doing tech? How long have you been in the tech industry?
So I would actually brand. So I did computer science engineering in Ghana, University of Ghana, and I've actually not really been in the tech industry, but I've used my knowledge in tech to help me in my business.
Wonderful.
So I'm an entrepreneur, but my knowledge in tech have helped me upskill my business.
That's tech
Yes.
industry for me. That's what I mean by being tech
Yes.
industry. So,
Yeah.
you know, but then you're somebody that has used technology, which a number of people have not really gotten wind of. I mean, we still have small and medium scale businesses that still rely on the analog way, you know. They have not, and those are the kind of businesses we see a lot, especially in these parts of Africa and all of that. How important is it innovating, or how important is it including technology in whatever business that you are doing or as a person is doing as an SME and all of that?
In fact, it's one of the key components. So, for instance, I'll give you a typical example. I trade in sugar, and then where I buy my sugar from, I buy in large quantities. Okay, so imagine when we want to place an order, we have to call the company over the phone, especially when bank transactions started getting, you pay money, it will start hanging, they will not get. But we have a competitor who makes it very easy. Using the tech tools, you go on an online platform, you order your sugar, you put in your code, it sends you straight to quick teller, you pay easily. So, you know, in businesses, if we don't put tech innovatives in business, it doesn't grow. You become stagnant.
So in that kind of case now, the person has incorporated a payment service into the website.
Into the website. So it's easier rather than we calling and then please, I
Trying
want to
to make
place
an
an
order.
order. And it's easier. So imagine the times of the bank. We are still in this same time anyway. Imagine how much profit the X company would have made over the other company who has not inculcated. What am I saying? I'm saying that, I mean, there are a lot of tools that you can use as a business person to upskill. Let me even go to the common skill person. There's somebody, let's say a dressmaker, no, they like to be called a fashion designer.
Fashion, exactly. That's what it
Exactly.
is now.
So imagine a fashion designer having an app that can come up with a great design style for his clients. Before I sew for you, can you see the 3D version of the clothes? Is that what you want? Do you want to remove some and add some?
You know that industry is a very, what you see versus what you get, or what you ordered versus what you got.
Yes.
That is
It's very dicey. So
you know,
imagine
people are very skeptical.
you can step up your game and now show clients that, look, before you order from me, I can give you the 3D.
The 3D
you
model
can look
of
at it,
yeah.
you can adjust, and then get back to me, and I'll do the exact thing for you. Imagine how many people will come to you because they are confident that when they get to you, they are going to get their clothes done the same way you want it.
They want
so
it.
these little tools, little innovations, upscale businesses. And it's about time that a lot of medium-scale businesses look into this venture.
Wonderful,
Good.
wonderful, wonderful. Now, what kind of skills would one need? Because this would, in some ways, open jobs for some people, who are not so, like you mentioned, fashion. Now, that means that if you're going to run an app, you'd have to get somebody who has a technology, or you also outsource that part of the business to somebody. What kind of skills will be required from young people to take advantage of these, these advancements?
So there are a lot of tech skills out there that even organizations are offering them for free. I know organization, in my own organization, JCI, where we have what we call Tech Academy.
Okay.
We teach people websites, design thinking, product management, UI, UX, and these are some of the things, some of the basic skills people
You do this for free?
for free.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So
And-
people can learn this.
Imagine, and we have organizations like Microsoft also trying, it's out there. A lot of skills are out there. We have added, if you Google, in fact, they say Google is your friend. Go there, Google, please, what skills do I need to help in my business? Now, as I said, even design thinking, product thinking. How will I take my product from stage A to stage B? Funny enough, even me, I had to go to 2 days ago. I had to go to a website to go and learn how to moderate a panel session because I have a program.
You should have just come to me now.
So you can imagine. So I mean,
I understand what you mean.
it's out there. It's out there. We have a lot of tech skills out there. Design products, as I've said, I've mentioned a few of them that you can easily access. And even when you come to JCI, we do all these things.
All right, now, but with all of this now, there are concomitant challenges. There are some
Yes.
challenges that come with all of this.
Yes.
You are more susceptible to maybe hackers and all of that. How does one shore up oneself against such attacks, as it were, or challenges that come up with using technology? Because they would come. How does one overcome such
So
challenges?
I believe in teamwork. I believe in, so there are some of the things that you can't do it alone as a business person. Now, so in my small business I have the IT department that we've employed people to look at various things, like, for instance, as you said, like I quite remember there was one occasion that a client complained that you sent me a mail and then you sent your account number through the mail and I paid you. I said, I've not sent you any mail. I checked the website and it's just one. So for my company, they've just removed one letter to create another website similar to the name of the company. So these are some of the things that happen. So we have security in checks. That's why we have cyber security. It's another topic for another day.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
we look into all that and make sure that we try. People will still try, but we try to put protective measures, preventive measures to make sure that it's minimal.
It's minimal. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Thank
This
you.
was quite expository, and hopefully we'll have you some other time.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
much.
you so much.
All right. Hope you're able to pick up something from there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short time out.
Hello and good morning. It's great to have you with us. Now it's time for us to beam a spotlight on the arts. And today we have something special happening. We have Sholakwe Azizi, or rather Azazi. She is a certified autism specialist and autism parent coach. Now she's here on the couch with us on art display because we're going to be looking at some beautiful art pieces made by children living with autism. Now she's talking to us about this amazing talent that these kids possess, their paintings, and an upcoming exhibition. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Titi.
Now, first of all, Sholakwe, thank you so much for what you do on behalf of parents out there who are most likely learning from you and other things you've done on air, online to help parents with children living with autism. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk a bit about how this all got started. What is the story behind this?
Okay, so the story. I have a beautiful, amazing 8-year-old who's going to be 9 on Sunday.
Wow. Happy
Yes.
birthday in advance.
Thank you very much. He's on the spectrum. He's on the autism spectrum. And so this was what started me on the autism journey. I remember that when we had him, it developed appropriately, the right way. He checked, the milestones were checked. And at 15 months, he started losing some of the words he had gained. And at 18 months, he lost pretty much a lot. 20 months, he went mute. And by the time he started talking again at 22 months, it was baby babble. And this is a child that had all of his words, appropriate words before that time. And so it was baby babble, lost everything. And so we started the pediatrician then told us that we're going to flag him down for autism, but they couldn't give me a definitive diagnosis because you don't get a definitive diagnosis till age 3. So that was how we started off on the journey. And he got 1 at age 3, autism, and we had all the intervention that needed to be. He started with all the intervention, but we did not start to record huge milestones until he started to find his voice. Okay. And it was through art that he started to find his voice because he's a visual learner. He sees the world in pictures. Okay. And so for me, that's how we started on.
So a visual learner, he communicates with you with his art. So the way we would probably see a visual storyboard is how he communicates what he wants, what he needs?
No. So when I say it communicates as a visual learner, it means that if he cannot visualize it,
okay,
he cannot understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So like, for example, with his classroom work and everything, if he can see a picture representative of what you're asking him to do, then he can, be able to attend to the questions or whatever. So he interacts, that's what I mean by that.
Okay, so now I want us to sort of key in onto the artwork itself.
Absolutely.
Now he's 8 years old now, so it's been a long journey. And now you've mentioned that there's an exhibition coming up.
Absolutely.
It's coming up in April, but I would love to see some of the artwork that are going to be on display. I know you sent some in. Let's see if we can see some. All right, so these pieces were put together by children living with autism. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of these pieces were done by children living with autism. And
wow.
This year's exhibition is termed Embracing Art by through the differently abled children. Yeah.
Differently abled children. Amazing. Okay, so now this is not the first time it's happening. How many exhibitors do you have for this exhibition?
So I think this is the third outing. The first one we had a solo exhibition, and the organizers of the exhibition is Pure Souls and Patrick Stitch. Okay. The first one happened, I think, 3 years ago with a solo exhibition, and then last year we had 3 exhibitors, and this year we have 7 children exhibiting. So it's growing, and it's just to give hope and, you know, inspiration to parents out there that your child is much more than you think. It can do much more. There's a voice, and let the child have the voice.
So I'm seeing different media here. Are those acrylic paintings on canvas, or is it on paper? Talk to us about how they're put together.
So we have acrylic. We have acrylic on canvas. We have paper. So it's mixed. We have different sort of
media.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing some artwork that looks like, well, I'm not going to say a normal artist, an artist living daily a normal life could have put together. These are extremely high quality artworks.
Yeah, we have lots of talents with us. Children with autism, even because of, I mean, we don't try to limit our children based on their disability. We know that they're much more and they can do much more. They're talented if you let them. And that's what we're trying to showcase. We're trying to showcase to the world that there is amazing talent in these children. And art is an avenue to express their creativity. And that's what we're doing with this.
Okay, so I'm going to ask how old each of the children are now. How old is the oldest? How old is the youngest?
So we have the youngest is 8,
okay,
who's going to be 9
okay,
soon, and I think the eldest is 18.
Okay.
So we have a very good range.
So are they in special needs schools, or are they in normal everyday schools?
So it's very important to know what your child needs to be able, because my child is in a mainstream school with some support.
Okay.
We have other children in special needs school, and I always tell parents that don't say because my child needs this and that. It's very important to know what your child's strengths are and what your child's challenges are. And based on the strengths and challenges, then you would know how to appropriately give the support the child needs to thrive.
All right. Amazing. So these pieces are up for sale, yes?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, and then apart from the first day of the exhibition, it's also going to be online. So we're going to move the first opening day, which is on the 2nd of April, which is the World Autism Day. We'll open up the exhibition, and right after that, we have all the other pieces online. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, Sholakwe, thank you so much for what you do. And those art pieces look amazing. I think they're worth going to see, to be honest. They actually are very beautiful. And what you're doing is great. So we would love to encourage you to give your comments and contributions on this particular issue. Please use the hashtag WakeUpNigeriaOnTVC. We can't wait to hear from you. Thank you so much, Sholakwe. We have a break coming your way. Stay with us.
There's only one person that would make me work in this kitchen, in this particular Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. And it's Chef Belinda.
You have been doing well.
Welcome back, guys. With me is Chef Belinda, and she's making, well, we are, because I'm proudly,
we are actually.
yes, we are, yes, I'm involved. RBD stir fry, and RBD stands for rice, beans, dodo stir fry. So let's run through the ingredients and do you think?
Okay. We have our chicken, our pairing it with chicken fajitas.
Okay.
So we have our chicken breasts filleted already in julienne shapes. We have our rice pre-cooked, beans pre-cooked, dodo. We have fried this already.
Okay.
So now we are chopping our vegetables, proudly done by my sous chef here. So we cut them into julienne slices, and we
tell me my julienne slices are perfect.
They are beautiful, seriously. No. They are good. They are
perfectly
good. They are good. They are good. You did well. You did
I'm
well.
proud of myself.
So now we need to marinate this chicken. And
so what did you do with the chicken first off?
I just added salt and seasoning.
Okay.
Now I'm adding the black pepper, the paprika, actually. I said it was paprika.
So guys, please note that the chicken has been deboned.
Yeah, it's deboned. It's chicken breast, actually. So now I want to use air fryer for this chicken. I use air fryer for this so that we can stir fry our vegetable on the stove.
Okay, so for those who do not have the air fryers,
fryer.
what should
You
they
can
use?
use normal fry. Just,
Okay, just to
pan
fry the
it
chicken.
with very little oil.
Okay.
Yes.
And
you have
little
to pan
heat
fry
or a
it.
lot of heat?
No, you can use a lot of heat any which
Okay.
way.
Okay.
But the oil should be very, very little.
Okay.
Just more like, if you have a non-stick pan, just put like 2 drops of oil, you are fine.
All right.
And it will go well with this.
Okay.
It's fine.
So when we are done with the chicken, what's next?
When we stir fry the chicken, when we're done with the chicken and the vegetables, we'll now bring them together. We'll put a pot on fire, stir fry the vegetables.
Okay.
Then we'll start
What are you stir frying the veggies with?
with oil.
Okay.
With oil, yes.
Okay.
We'll start with the beans, actually. We'll stir fry the beans a little so that it will not look soggy. It will be standing firm
Okay.
amongst the pears,
Okay.
this rice and co. So while we stir fry that, then we stir fry the vegetables, and then we bring everything together.
In one pot?
Yes, in one pot.
Okay.
Like your fried rice.
Like our fried
I'm happy I mentioned fried rice.
Great. So
Then-
now,
then for the
how
fried
long
rice-
are we leaving that in the...
Okay, this I'll leave for, say, 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yes.
Great. And then we'll begin work on our
fajitas,
stir fry. We are making chicken fajitas as well to go with our BD stir fry. And on this note, I'm going to drop the knife.
After you cut onions.
Yeah, no, I'm not
After
cutting
you
onions. It's the top of the hour, guys. You're going on a quick break. Stay with us. I'm running out of this kitchen and before Chef Belinda accuse me we work by. It's great vibes, good food, fantastic personalities, amazing music, and so much more.
Definitely, we are your essential morning Kickstarter pack, and staying glued till the second hour plus puts you in the right frame of mind to take on each day.
Yeah, welcome to the second hour, people. It's still our Artsy Thursday edition, and there's still so much to come. Chef Belinda, of course, is in the kitchen, cooking up a storm, and I am so glad to be on a break from the kitchen for now.
All right, definitely. I'm looking forward to how all of that comes together. It's quite a very
Yes,
full
I
spread.
am.
A wonderful kitchen I can see there. Just chill, relax. You will see how all of it comes together at the end. My name is Mike Mesikema.
And I'm Ime Okoche. You can watch the show live on GOTV channel 27 and on UHF 49. You could also watch us on the go. If you have not downloaded the app yet, you better. It's a TVC app and it's for free on both the Android and iOS store.
Now follow us on social media, TVC Connect. Send in your comments. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeriaOnTVC to interact with us.
We still have a few things coming up shortly. Right now on the show, we have birthday shout-outs.
Welcome back. You're still watching Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, it's Thursday, and on Thursday, we like to do a little book review, but this particular book, there's nothing little about it, okay? The title of the book is Dear Niger Girl. It's a book on what it means to be a female in Nigeria. And of course, it's written by Cynthia Tasha Osaji Benedict. Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Now, of course, you're an exceptional writer, and of course, your skills are literally like really good. Because I actually took time last night. I didn't sleep early yesterday because of you, to read at least a few chapters of your book. And I must say, I mean, talk about books that people need to read, female, male, whoever. We definitely need to read. So now tell me, first of all, about your background in writing.
Okay, so my writing came to me as more of a surprise because it was more like a personal passion.
Okay.
It was how I escaped the world. It was how I'm able to you know, just go through my feelings and process. So I mostly write for myself.
Okay.
But the spur to put out a book came in 2020.
Okay.
During the lockdown.
Of course.
I had the pleasure of having some conversation with some men that I got stuck in the house with, and some women as well. And it started a conversation that I felt like we haven't been able to actually properly, you know, break down or digest.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? Instead of me to explain this thing to everyone at different times, why not just put out a book so everyone can just have the opportunity to learn and read and just have this knowledge at once.
Yes, I mean, put a book together that encapsulates
everything.
It all.
Yes.
So now, of course, I said I spent a few hours last night reading this book. I'm like, I should be sleeping. I'm waking up by 4 a.m. in the morning. But I'm like, by 2, I was like, you know what? Let me keep scrolling. And I was reading. And of course, that's because, I mean, the manner in which you write, for me, I think I find great joy when I'm reading a book and it's simple to understand. While at the same time, your book, considering the topic, it has a whole lot of, I don't know how to put it, but then again, of course, still easy to read, break down, and understand. Now, let's talk about the first chapter. The first chapter where you share your story. Something I think is very interesting was the fact that you shared your story. However, it didn't actually, cast a shadow over your research on the topic on feminism. So let's talk about your first chapter.
Okay, so first of all, when it comes to writing, for me, I like to write in a way that everyone is able to assimilate and easily digest the content, because especially because, you know, Nigeria is where we don't have great reading culture and people have like low attention span. So I wanted them to feel like they were having a conversation with their friend, with someone that they know. My first chapter, I was very worried about sharing my story, of course. My publisher was like, do you really want to do this? Do you want to put yourself out there like that? But in the course of doing the research for this book, I had to interview about 1,897 women. Wow. And I did not feel comfortable telling people to share their story if I was not willing to share mine. So I had to be vulnerable in order to open the door for people's vulnerability to come through. So that was why.
That actually makes a whole lot of sense. Okay, now you actually came from an experience where you actually grew up with your mom not being so around, right? And of course your dad had to do all of that. But then again, you made mention of the fact that there were still key women in your life that actually made the journey worthwhile and of course opened your eyes to different parts, right? And all of that. So now it takes me to the next chapter. So through your experience, you experienced feminism at one handle, right? In chapter 2, you go ahead to explain or break down the reasons. Right. So now I want you to put those reasons out there. So now tell me you mentioned religion being one of them. So what are the others? And can you explain briefly how this contributes to the state of things here with the balance between the male and female gender?
Okay, so we have like different tools of which, women's experience as, Nigerian, how girl childs go through the process of society. And I say the process of society because we have to go through different channels, different experiences, different people as well. So when it comes to religion, I try to break that down as much as I could in the book, of how we're always so focused in churches on teaching the girl child and molding the girl child and passing us through a particular moral spectrum that we don't pay attention to the men.
True.
Even till now, if you go to church as a young woman who is grown to a certain extent, you hear about how, you should get a husband, you should do this, pay tithes, focus more on God, join female community, be a good wife, and all those things that you have to do. But no one teaches the man how to be a good husband. No one teaches them that beyond your financial capacity, there has to be more about you, for you. There has to be more you bring to the table. The same thing happens towards the family. In the house, you see everyone is so focused on raising the girl. No one pays attention to the men. And then you hear this stereotype, this popular stereotype where they say, oh, the male child are easy to raise, boys are easy to raise. And that's because they feel like boys don't need so much attention. But guess what? They do need so much attention because look at the men in society today.
Look at them. Just look at them. Sir Francis, best man, Matthew. Just look.
It's crazy. And I always say this, that it's easier to change a woman than it is for you to change a man. It is why I always say you can't...
Pause. Say that again.
It is easier. It is easier for you to change a woman than for you to change a man, because they raised us in a moldable way, but they don't raise men that way. They raise them in a strictless way. And of course, they allow them to do whatever they want to do, go sow your wild oats, to do whatnot. But the templates and, the rules are different for women. And so when we leave the family, when we come to friendship, it's the same thing. As a young child, how many times were your parents encouraging you to be friends with boys? They teach you from early on that boys are the enemy. They taught you this one happens. If they smile at you, this one happens. And then they teach men to look at women a certain way from childhood. And I know that most parents mean well, but what happens now is that boys now see girls as sexual objects. And girls see men as men. But we rarely have the opportunity to just be friends, to just create bonds and to just create, friendships that are, platonic. which is why as grown women and as grown men, it's very, very, very hard to have friendship without that undertone sometimes.
True.
Yes.
True. That
So
actually makes
there
a lot
are
of
so
sense.
many other you know, processes and tools
Yes.
and things that, you know, that influence our experiences as women, growing up as girl childs and becoming the women we are today. You said briefly, so I'm just going to stop there.
Yes, I mean it's applaudable the work you did there and breaking a lot of things down. The reason why I think everyone should actually read that book. So now you did mention that, yeah, despite the fact that society, as we will say, have literally made certain things certain ways, right? Men have their role to play in this whole situation of gender inequality. But you also highlighted the fact that women also have a role to play in this. Okay, so now I want you to throw more light on that.
Okay, so I'm going to start by saying that growing up, I always thought that the stereotype again, of course, that, you know, we throw around where we say women are women's problem. I always thought that was, you know, like a myth. You know, all women can't be that bad. But growing up as a girl, I've realized that, oh my days, this is so true. And the funniest thing is that you're going to expect it to be your peers that are going to be your problems. But your problem is going to come down towards the first generation, from the great-grandmothers to the grandmothers to the mothers to the sisters to the friends to the whole thing. And then you realize that the problem, you know, that was one of the things that gave me a clear definition of what my feminism is. You know, the problem is not men. The problem is patriarchy. And people don't understand that these two things are different. We always tie patriarchy to men, but patriarchy is not an ideology of men. It is not a perspective of men. It is a perspective and an ideology of society. So the problem now is patriarchy, which is propagated by men. And of course, supported and kept and enabled by women who do not know any better, and those who actually know better but are scared to come out of their own defined standard of living, because this is what they've known all their life. So, you know, they always make it seem like when you diverge from the trail a little bit and get to know yourself as a person and realize that, okay, this is not the life that I want to live, it always seems like, oh my God, you've gone mental.
You've lost your mind.
You've lost your mind.
Yes. I mean, talking about this book, Dear Niger Girl, I mean, it could go on and on for a very long time, but then again, we're very sure we're tight on time, so we have to go now. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
I saw our final guest today, and as much as I want to see a dentist, you know what comes to mind now? I started thinking about, so my idea just started coming, mobile dentistry.
Really?
You just have a dentist, just carry everything inside, and just comes to your head.
Wow, really?
Just
Yeah,
said,
we'll do that.
Really?
Yeah, we'll do
all right, Titi,
Mobile dentistry.
tell us a bit about
So
what we
our
have coming on.
final guest for today is not just a dentist, but he's a cinematographer, film director, and so much more. Abiodun Odu, a man who's been featured on several global platforms, is right here with us. Short film indie filmmaker. That's what I...
Yeah.
What is, first of all, what is indie to a number of people who don't really understand when they see it there?
Indie is just an abridged version for independent.
Okay.
Independent filmmaker, you
Oh,
know, backed
wonderful.
by big studio production and all. Yeah.
And that is big, you know, considering it's a big year for indies, considering what happened at the Oscars,
yeah.
with Everything Everywhere All at Once. You know, A24, I know them and all that, been following them and all that. So this is a good time to be indie.
To be an indie,
Yeah. Okay. So, but let's talk a bit about you. Prior to this time around, you were a practicing dentist, or are you still practicing? Tell us a bit about that. How it happened to segue to filmmaking.
Yeah, so I studied dentistry and dental surgery in Lagos State University, and since 2020, I've stopped practicing for a while now. So just 2021, basically.
How did you make that decision? What happened? Tell us
So
that story.
initially I was doing both, practicing and trying to tell stories. Then dabble into photography, cinematography, direct a couple of short films with my friends and all. And it was at a point it was getting harder to juggle both together because filmmaking is a very demanding career. So early last year I decided to go to film school to let me get a formal training, formal certification on this and all. And the experience in the Ebony Life Film Academy, the film school I attended, really grounded a lot of things for me and made me understand that, okay, you can actually pursue this. But I felt it was more fulfilling to me. I knew I had a lot of things to offer. So I was like, let me give this a try. How about I do this with my life and, let's see how that leads.
Well, so let's talk short film, because I know this has been your focus of recent.
Yeah.
What is a short film? How long is it?
Yeah, a short film is basically a work of art, a film, not longer than 40 minutes. So it ranges from 30 seconds to at least 40 minutes, to maximum 40 minutes, yeah.
Okay, so and a short film has obviously a beginning, middle, and end in that 40 minutes.
Yes.
There's nothing like part 2 is coming, nothing like that.
Some people have been known to do like sequels to their short films, but usually they are one-offs.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic. So I know that cinemas are usually into feature length, but have they started opening up to short films?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
No. They are not. So what we noticed is that for indie filmmakers, the entry point into the industry is short films, and these short films are not commercial. Like you really don't make money off them. So you end up putting them on YouTube, apply for festivals, get nominations, and all. And if you're lucky enough, maybe it gets picked up by maybe a streaming platform that puts it up there, and they don't really do too well commercially. So what we did was that we wanted to create that environment for indie filmmakers. That okay, let's show people like ourselves, emerging filmmakers, that you can actually have your work being screened in a cinematic environment also, because I think that provides the truest form of representation for the experience the filmmaker intended for the film to have. Because when you're watching on film, all the sound is condensed, the aspect ratio is smaller. But then if you're in a cinema, everywhere is darkened, you are focusing only on the screen, the sound is better, it's much bigger, it feels larger than life. So to preserve that cinematic experience, we started what we call Night of Shorts. So we make our short films, we premiere it at our indie film festival, Night of Shorts. We call filmmakers, call industry experts. We talk about different salient points that may be pertinent in that time in the industry and other things. And it's a lot of fun. Like people come, have fun, network, see people that work together with.
Night of Shorts.
Wonderful.
YouTube Shorts is not such a big thing. That word shorts is now a lot more popular.
It is, because look, when something is long, people are tired of long. So when you say short, like you won't waste your time. You're going to enjoy this one. And then let's talk about your works now. So far, since you have been fully into this now, how many works do you have to your credit?
So I've done at least 11 short films and 1 feature length. Yeah.
Wow.
Which one stood out for you?
For me, I think the film I made in film school, Halima, really stood out for me, because the film really opened a lot of doors. It shattered a lot of award recognitions in film school, even outside. Most of the people that got me to commission for their works, they commissioned me through Halima when they saw it. It's on YouTube, it's on Going Live Creative Academy YouTube page also. So it did well in international festivals, even locally also.
Wonderful. Which other ones?
Yeah, the other one was, I think Voices had to be the second one that really opened doors, because it was a mental health centric film. So that had to do with a creative struggle with mental health, hearing voices in his head and how he overcame that kind of condition and all. So, but that also was a very dear to my heart project.
Honestly, so I'm not sure why, but these days we live in kind of like a microwave consumption of entertainment space. But then again, the stories that are being told have to be important stories, right? So which is the deepest story for you?
For me, the deepest story is one which will be premiering this Saturday at Night of Shorts, Yaba. It's called Onajite. So it's we intended to do short films that for this February season of Valentine's, love stories and all, but we didn't want to go with the cliche boy meets girl kind of, like what other forms of love can we explore? So we penned down, okay, love between a father and his son, because we really get to see that, especially firstborn son. Then we love between siblings, so a sister and her 2 siblings. Then we did one also that had to do with normal one, in case people are still expecting.
Let me give you an idea for another one. Woman, mother-in-law.
Wow.
That's conflict.
This is what you expect. Conflict.
Love.
But imagine where there's love. Imagine if you do love between woman and mother-in-law.
I'll pen that down.
That has, I mean, first of all,
I'll pen that down.
it will blow minds and all that.
Definitely.
But this is on Saturday, so you get people to look at the industry and all of that comes together, all of that. Who's your filmmaking inspiration?
Locally, people like Jade Oshiberu, Kunle Afolayan, they inspire me a lot. Like I really aspire to be where they are.
What aspect of their work is key for you?
So for Jade Oshiberu, I like the fact that she tells different narratives, like action. for the longest time, Nollywood has been seen to be like they can handle action films and all, but she has proven time with that number, with the trade, brotherhood, that like we can handle this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for Kunle Afolayan, I think Kunle Afolayan really brought cinematic experiences to Nigerian films. Prior to that, we had rarely films that were really, that we could see that this filmmaker took conscious effort and was paying attention to even the most minute detail and all. So,
Are you genre specific? Is there any genre you focus on much more than any other one? Is
yeah,
there you want to be?
So mostly I started off making dramas, then looked into comedy, then back to dramas again. So dramas and horror a bit. Drama with a little bit of horror, like.
Really?
Yeah, but not
one
thrillers. Yeah, thrillers.
That's one that I would really, because
You
most
like
of
to
them-
do one?
Most of the time, prior to this time, our former horror used to be I decided thunder or we that disappear.
Yeah.
And we know, but with the evolution, we've seen different things. I know. I think it was Clarence Peters who's working for a very long time. We've not yet seen it. I know it's been shown on film festivals.
Yeah, Inside Life.
Inside, exactly.
Yeah.
You know that. You know what I'm talking about and all of that. But now you also mentioned something about when you mentioned Jadi and you spoke about action and all of that. Brotherhood was, sweet for the Nigerian level and all of that. But what do we need as an industry for action? Now that is where it's challenging. I know. When I watch behind the scenes, which I love, or the making of movies, for action movies, I mean, for instance, look at the Shang-Chi set where just one part of the movie, one particular section of the movie was shot for 1 year. That was on the bus. And all
Yeah, the
that.
boss sequence.
The boss sequence was shot for 1 year, and that brings what as an industry, action for the action genre. Can Nollywood, do we have the time, the resources, because maybe the resources is the capacity and all of that to pull off things like that, to pull off action on that level?
So I think the biggest thing is the funding for it. I think Nollywood is beginning to attain the funding necessary to make some films, some kind of films. So after the funding aspect has been conquered, I think next is the technical know-how. Because if you want to flip cars, you want to make people levitate and do other things and do pyrotechnics, explosions, you need the technical proficiency to do that. So, and I think what Nollywood has started to recognize is the fact that you can actually get those experts from other countries and bring them
in.
Yeah, so even Brotherhood was not even directed by Jadi Oshiba, it was directed by a Ugandan director, Lukman Ali. So, like, Nollywood recognizes that if you want to get explosions, get fight choreography well, get the right people from other countries, outsource it and all. Because even on the set of Brotherhood, you were white guys that came for the pyrotechnics.
Even the big guys, they outsource.
Yeah, they outsource. So I think we are getting that stage where over the next, I mean, this is one of the most beautiful periods for Nollywood. Next couple of years now, 5 years or 6 years now, you start seeing amazing works coming from different filmmakers.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I still have other questions, but we have to take a quick break now at this point. There's still, we'll be in the kitchen with Abiodun in a bit. All right.
Welcome to the kitchen. This is Chef Belinda, and this morning she's made for you RBD stir fry with chicken fraitas.
Wow. Woo.
Great. I know, right?
RBD.
Looks good. RBD is rice, beans, and dodo. That's what it is.
Oh, RBD. Okay, now I
It's
get
her
it.
special recipe.
All right.
And would like
Woo,
to
look at
give you
that.
a bit.
Oh, that looks so good.
There you go. There you have it. So you have this in the spoon.
Spoon?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, sir.
So
All right.
please
Go. Have a taste.
enjoy.
Yes,
Okay,
go ahead.
all right,
Have a
all
taste.
right, all right.
Let us know what you
It
think.
looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
All right.
Chef Belinda.
All right, so now we can sing the song. Belinda, Belinda, eh, 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 Belinda.
She almost crucified me.
It's been a wonderful time. Thank you for being a part of this show today. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.